I was telling Tao, who's my girlfriend's moving from Perth, Australia, to
Mm,
freaking Canada, and we're like, I'm living now in a city called Brantford, just outside, like close to the GTA, and like we can get 10 below, 15 below zero,
oof.
like this is Celsius. Now I'm trying to tell Tao, who's like 12 above. Now that's Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but they
I'll let you
never
know.
get even, not even close to freezing, let alone several below freezing. She's in a city with like on the beach, right on the coast. Freaking, it's crazy, man. I'm like, you know what you're signing up for?
I
It's
know
gonna
I
test your
relate.
character.
I'm in Florida right now, and it's 74 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 23.3 degrees Celsius right now where I'm at. So
Holy
yeah,
sh!
yeah.
Oh
It's
my
beach weather all
god,
year
man!
round over here. I've never seen snow actually in my entire life. Never seen it.
Really?
I swear to you, yeah. I was born in LA in Cali, moved here when I was a
Yeah.
baby, so I've only ever seen like sunny days year round. I've never experienced snow, never experienced anything below like 35.
That's so nuts, man. I can't
Yeah.
believe this is January for you. So you're
Yeah.
outside in a t-shirt?
Yeah, I got shorts and a t-shirt on right now. Yeah.
Fuck me, I'm jealous. Dog, I'm always jealous. Here's the thing. So Tao's in Australia and her January, like their seasons are reversed. So December, January, February is their summer.
Yeah.
And our summer is their winter. So their Christmas is like a barbecue on the beach with the family, blah blah blah. So when they watch Christmas movies, which always take place in like there's snow, like Home Alone or whatever the shit, right? Elf, there's like snow, Christmas trees, whatever. It's like a fantasy La La Land. That's Hollywood. That's not real to them. So for her to be coming in, that's actually going to experience a winter, like next Christmas will be like the first time she's like, this is just like the movies. It's going to be crazy for her. But for me, I'm like, I
They don't
can't wait
have
to
any
get the hell out of here.
Australian. They got no Australian Christmas movies like in the beaches and stuff like that, or
Ain't nobody trying to see that. That's a very niche market. You can make that movie, but it is not going to be coming on every season at Christmas time. But so you've actually never had it for really real Christmas either, then?
not like the Winter Wonderland stuff. Never, nah.
It's like a weird thing for you to see that when you watch these movies, like all of it, A Christmas Story to whatever, all these classical Christmas movies, you cannot relate. You're like, yeah, no, man, I'm just t-shirts and we're at the beach doing
Nah,
whatever.
exactly. I was planning on going to the beach next weekend with my wife, but
Yeah.
cutting it too close to the Sheffield travel time, so we're gonna hold down until after I come back.
Speaking of Sheffield, we were remiss if we didn't bash Jirens right now.
Oh
Our
yeah,
boy is
this guy.
late. Our boy is fashionably late. Our late showed up to the podcast. God bless. We'll see if he pops in the group chat. Jirens has the Zoom meeting info, so he might drop in at any point in time, and we'll see what the hell he says and does, and we'll throw some questions at him. But how are you feeling for this Sheffield prep?
Physically, I feel almost 100%. Little nagging pains in the hips and the knees and all that, but
Mm,
that just comes with the onslaught of prep, PRing block after block. And you see my training online, right? It's just I'm a
yeah.
high intensity type of lifter. I like to empty the tank every week 4 or week 5. So it's catching up, but I did do a deload earlier in this block. So outside of like the slight aches, no injuries. But outside of that, I feel very, very strong. Yesterday was probably like my strongest session on bench and deadlift thing of all time. And it's only a week
Seen
3, and
that.
I still have more peaking to do. Squat didn't show up the way I wanted. I took like 285. It moved, eh. Still, I probably had like 305 on the day still, regardless. But yeah, I think that physically I feel amazing, but mentally it's like I'm trying to just get as locked in as possible because we got some heavy ass hitters. Disregard Perk. I'm about to treat Perk like I treat Agata. Like we have to exclude them from conversations and just talk about everyone else. So like
Right.
Anthony and Ivan, I'm keeping my eyes on them because like I'm a realist when it comes to potential and like what I can hit. And I have full self-belief in my capabilities to execute world-class totals. And I think I can push the world record quite a bit. I'm shooting over 3%, or that's my forecast, I believe. But I got Ivan and Anthony. I got Anthony like at 1,030, and to match or beat that, I need like 945 or some crazy shit. And to beat Ivan, if he does 700, I need like I think like 932. So I'm a realist, like I said, and if we all hit our top end potentials, those two guys should be, I think, forecasted above myself. But I know I can execute. Now, whether they can or hit their top end on the platform with the cut and all that, we'll see. But yeah, if we're just going off straight up potential, I think they're a little above me right now, I think.
Okay, so here's a couple things I'll throw out. Let me know what you think. Well, first off, Ivan, not long after the podcast, like on the podcast, he was like 700. I think 700's there. And he was throwing around the big magical 700 number for
Yeah,
59. Kasim saying did the same thing. And I love it when guys shoot their shot and start throwing it around. However, and he did 690 in the gym. So that's not crazy. But I'm told he's hit a few roadblocks in prep. Not not crazy where he's got to pull out or anything like that. He still might even take the record. I don't know if he's going to take it and take it for a ride. He
gotcha.
might. It's not injury, but he had alluded to some aches and pains here and there on the podcast. But he's like, I think I should be okay. And then quick check, I reposted something, and people in the comments were like, I think Ivan got injured. Shot him an email or an email. That's a little formal. I shot him a DM, and you get an email from me. You're like, God, what the fuck, man? What is this, a report? Um, and I was asking him, and he said not injury per se, but I have some issues I'm sorting out, and I'm not sure if 700 this Sheffield. So keep that in the back pocket. We'll see, though. Some people, man, see Nita. So Nita does this almost damn near every competition. She's like, I got this, I got that. Lowers expectations, comes in, smashes the all-time world record, comes the strongest woman of all time, and it's like, so it's hard to tell. But anyways, and then with Anthony, interesting note here. Let me get your opinion on this.
He
I
doesn't post. It's scary. He just doesn't post.
He don't post. No, I actually hosted his King of the Lifts. Let me switch to the channel. Someone made a really good comment that what they think Anthony McNaughton should do. Here it is. I'll pull up this comment. Let me get your opinion on this actually.
We'll go 120.
Yes. So they said, all right, if Anthony's smart, he goes 120 for Sheffield, like 108 body weight or whatever. He weighs in before the cut. The 120s is only 3 kilos more than the 105s. Anthony can increase the 120s before Rondell goes there to destroy the 120 record in the following Sheffield. Then Anthony goes down to the 105s for the year-end Sheffield, and just stay low. He's far ahead of the other 105s. He just has to stay healthy. He can podium in 2 Sheffields in a row. 1,000 kilos at 120 is 102.5%. 1,000 kilos at the 105s is 102.5%. If Anthony can go 1,000 kilos at 120s, 93s would need 938. And Anthony is the clear number 2 despite going up a weight class, yada, yada. So this is true. It would be the ultimate game of 3D chess if Anthony purposely throws a thorn in the side of Rondell Hunt, much like Shell did to Perk at that one Sheffield. When Shell won, before Shell dropped the 66, he took the 74 kilo class total and shot it as far as he could. I think in a span of 6 months, as a 74, Shell put 25 to 30 kilos on the world record in the 74 kilo class, then dropped the 66, then went to Sheffield, head up with Perk, and Perk was like, that was some 3D chess, my man. That was okay, well played. Because Shell knew before I drop, let me shoot a couple bullets. Anthony, if he's sure he's coming to the next Sheffield, he could take that 120 kilo total for a ride and really push it out on Rondell. But having some discussions with like Matt Gary, nonetheless, I talked to Anthony and John Song as well. John Song being Anthony's coach. But Matt Gary's like, here's what's risky. You do this. A, you got a lot more records at 105, individual records to grab some money. B, if you don't make it back to Worlds, you don't make it to Sheffield or whatever might have you, like this might be your shot. Doing this 3D chess thing only works if everything lays out, all the planets align. You could majorly shoot yourself in the foot if Keenan shows up in a major way at PA Nats and you can't turn it around that quickly or whatever, because Keenan is close to like himself as well.
Yeah.
Because he would have to go to PA Nats as a 105 to register 105 total if he does 120. And he won't make it to Worlds. Like if Keenan goes all out and you can't turn it around that quickly 4 weeks later, like what are your thoughts on all that?
I, so I thought the same thing until you realize that if he goes 120, let's say hypothetically he goes 120 at like one at 110, whatever, puts up 1,030. Now, does he sit on that 1,030 and say, wait, I don't think Bob can beat that now. Can I just go to World at 120 and battle against
Oh,
Rondell? See what I mean? Or you take the risk 5 weeks later, cut back down, and try to maintain that top end right after Sheffield. And that's a big risk. So it all depends on what happens after Sheffield because there's still a week between Sheffield and signing up for nationals. So I think if the total is high enough, like over 1,030, I think it just makes more sense to go at 120, go to Worlds at 120, and just battle it out with Rondell. Because Anthony is that guy. I swear his top end is way higher than anyone can think. Everyone's saying 1,000 kilos here or there. No, it's way above 1,000, I believe. He just doubled like 365 on squat. That's at least a 380, 385 top end. His deadlift was 370, 372 at nationals. The way that looked, disregard any sort of progress that has been made. Just based off that 372 at nationals, it looks like he has 385 in the tank. And then bench, I've heard he benched 265. So yeah, like just adding all those number up, I think you're already at I think it's like 930, right? 930, 935 if you do 385, 265, 385. So just based off those numbers, man, it's he's absurd, and I feel like he'd be the guy to challenge Rondell, even if he just went to like 110 or like 112. I feel like he'd be that guy. So if I were him, that's the route I'm taking, especially if I total, like I said, 1,030 at Sheffield. But if the total is a little bit lower, let's say he does go 120 at Sheffield, and then he does like 1,010 or something. I would really look at doing nationals. Well, depending on what Keenan does, by the way, because he's also a killer. And then you got Ashton as well, depending on how the peck is. So it literally all depends on like where he is after Sheffield, how far over 1,000 he is. And I would definitely look into just staying 120 and then doing 105 again for the next Sheffield. See what I mean? So have time to really go in the
hmm.
bunker, build that 120, build like 115, just get that fucking mass on your body. Because I know Anthony is no stranger to cuts. He's made some big cuts in the past. So I feel like we go to like 112, 115, get that huge reservoir of just strength. After Worlds, cut back down to 105, go to the next Sheffield. He might just win it all. Like I feel like that's like the number one route to take right now. But that's just me. Let me know your thoughts on that though, because that you didn't bring that scenario up.
Ooh, that's actually very. He would completely be like, look at, hey, Bob, I'm taking all the gas that you just lit. I'm taking all that energy. I'm taking it, period. What you're trying to do, I'm going to do. I'm going to be the one to move up and challenge Rondell. That's me. And fuck, that's very interesting. Go all in 120 and try to pressure. Here's the danger. Now, of course, going to Worlds, threat levels. Let me gauge right now. Threat levels in terms of, because this is very late notice.
Yeah,
If he's going to bulk for Sheffield, he's not going to be super big. There's no question. There's no time to add a lot of weight unless you're like going, chubby styles. But if he goes all in at 120, Bob is coming to US Nats. There is going to be no Worlds and no Sheffield unless he can defeat Bob head up. How confident would you be if you're Anthony going head up with Bob or head up with Keenan at this point? Is it too late? Is it too late to make that kind of decision? Because I mean, Keenan's got to be not an easy route, but the easier route to out total. You got to think, right? Or do you think it's worth it? Do you think like no, he could do this?
I think 1,030. Honestly, okay. I love Bob. I love Bob. Let me preface this real quick. He is a phenom. I think the top five lifter on the planet. I don't think he has 1,030 by nationals. So if Ant does 1,030 or even more, let's say he doesn't cut, there's no doubt like he's putting something so absurd. I think he's gonna put it so out of reach that not even Bob would be able to hit it.
Oh
So in that case,
shit.
and that I just based off the numbers, man. Like I said, I go based off data. I'm very data driven for myself and for my competitors. And let's say Anthony's 110 right now. Okay, add 1 or 2 kilos. He has a little bit of time. I think he can hit the numbers I already displayed out there. So 1,030, I think will put everything out of reach. Still sign up for nationals as a 105 just for reassurance. And
Yeah.
you could step on the platform. You can try to go head up with Keenan again, or just beat Keenan's total from Sheffield, depending on if Keenan ends up going to nationals or not. So let's say you beat Keenan's total at 105, but you still have that 120 total in your back pocket. And let's say Bob doesn't beat that, then you have two options. You're like, oh wait, do you want to go at 105?
Mm.
Do I go at 120 now? I think it's a win-win because Keenan's a beast, but even with the short turnaround, I think and can recover, cut down a little bit to 105 again, and still out total him. I'm very high on Anthony, as you can tell. I think he's the most underrated lifter on the planet by far.
Dude, all right. So as soon as I read that comment on YouTube, copied it, threw it in a group chat with John Song and Anthony's like, dude, you're making me. I'm gonna be up all night thinking about this. Like, what are we doing here? And John is like, I thought I had a plan. Now people are throwing all these ideas out there. And as soon as they hear this podcast, they got to think it's tough, man. It's the toughest. When Anthony was on the King of this podcast, I asked him, as a 105 at Sheffield, could you beat Bob Matthews 1010.5? And he thinks he could. He thinks it's there as a 105, beating 1010.5. That alone would be a phenomenal statement to move ahead of Bob, who's like at 110 ish, and then move forward, whatever. I don't know. This is so tough. This easier route, the safer route is to go 105.
Yeah,
But
agreed.
however, that's not the route that's going to get. I mean, you could really, in terms of being underrated, and I agree with you. Nobody's underrating you if you do what you're talking about. You're going to be the talk of the town. Everybody's going to be like, did you hear what Anthony McNaughton did? I don't know, but that's risky, man. That's some risky shit. That's really pushing your chips into the middle and start calling people out. Like,
You
let
got to
me
take
see what
risks
you're
in the
holding.
sport, man. You got to take risks to be remembered, at
Yeah,
least. So
right. Greg, interesting. Well, I mean, 120 is no 120 is the unofficial world record. The world record for 93s is what 918, 19. What is that?
uh, it would be nine eighteen and a
Russ.
half from Russ.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's pretty damn close to you.
Yeah,
You're actually not very far yourself. Like if you, the difference is a bunch of 93s are showing up at Sheffield, but you yourself could even at a local meet or something do a Will Ball. Will Ball did 920 at a local meet and started dropping what's up now, Russ. If you yourself did not cut one, not at all, went to a local meet like Will Ball, could you take 920?
I can take that at 83, of course.
See, so
What?
have you thought about that? Be like, man, I had to just blow up a local meet and do it. What's up now, Will? What's up
I,
now?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't need to. I can cut and do the 920. That's already part of the range, man. It's in the range of the numbers I want at Sheffield, regardless.
What are you anticipating? I mean, first off, that's amazing. What are you thinking from Jirens? Is this guy jogging beside you, or is he behind you, looking at your back?
Right now, he's
And
not even on the
keep in mind,
podcast.
this fucking guy made us wait an hour and hasn't hit us back. So, oh, here he is. Oh shit, here he is. My
Finally,
God, I swear to God,
you
this
summoned
dude
him.
just jumps in. As soon as I talk, as soon as I bring up his name, my man appears.
He heard you.
Oh,
And
boys,
there he is.
Finally.
mate, I'm so sorry. Welcome to the UK. That's a London traffic to you right there. So sorry, guys.
No worries. No worries. We're rocking and rolling here. We're rocking and rolling. We're talking about Sheffield. First off,
Mhm.
Jirens, so we'll catch back to you in one sec, Joe. Let's just catch up real quick. Jirens, how is your prep going for Sheffield?
Oh, the funny thing, right? All my prep, they always go fantastically well. You know what I mean? I can't sit here and tell you I had a niggle or prep is going bad. This prep is going better than the last Sheffield. Way, way better. Way, way, way better. So, but at the same time as well, again, I'm gonna be honest to say, last Sheffield we pushed hard. When I said push hard, hard. And when you're pushing hard as lifters, you know you get niggles left, right, and center because you're pushing. But this prep, we are chilling. Do you know what I mean? We have not pushed hard because one thing we realize, I think we've learned from the World Games. So literally the blueprint of the World Games. So yeah, that's how it's
Well,
going
I
with
was just
us.
about to say, is this semi shades of the World Games prep? Because World Games, you had a fantastic showing.
Oh yeah, because the World Games we didn't pick, and the World Games we did not practice even like what singles until my last SPD day. That's when I did singles at the World Game, you know. And this one we done the exact same thing in every single block. My squats they always been triple doubles, and deadlifts exact same. Deadlifts we even been pushing ascending set. So before I touch anything, 770 or the American set 770 or 750, I have to have a lot of volume before that. And then I would do just one single at 750 or that holiday. Or maybe I'll do double. So this last block, this week and next week is the only week that we actually practicing the singles. Since what? Since August or September.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
So it's been a minute. So
Yeah. You know.
what are your expectations, Jirens? Then I'll throw it back to Joby, his expectations.
Yeah.
What are your expectations for this?
But for me, again, like it's the same mindset with Germany. Right? When I went to Germany, I was no delulu thinking I am the strongest on that platform and I am the most talented out of these two young men. Do you know what I mean? I knew I am the experienced powerlifter. I just used to use my experience and get myself, even my call with Matt Gary before the championship. I said to Matt, look, I'm not going to be delusional and tell you I'm going to Germany and beat Joey B and beat Ade and be a two-time world champion. I said, I'm going to Germany. My position is first or second. That's all. I said, if these two go 9 for 9, more than happy to get my bronze medal and go home. It's fine. But because knowing these two, they will try and eat each other. I mean, that sounds really bad there, but anyway, they will try to output each other. And when you're doing that, mistakes happen. Just make sure you get me on the pocket. I pull my last deadlift and I sit back and I have to be beaten for that second. And knowing anyone that will be behind, if Joe is behind me or Ade is behind me, they will never going to look at second position. They will load for the win. And that's when I'll get my second position if any of them already go 9 for 9. And that's exactly what happened. Do you know what I mean? And this Sheffield is the same mindset. We can't be delusional if we look at what Perks is doing, what Joey B has done at Van Kismay, and what McNaughton is doing. Do you know what I mean? Even the likes of course, Keenan and there is the Spanish kid, you know what I mean, what he's doing. Yeah, Ivan, you can't look past this guy. Of course, there's the 93 baton, Russ. But the reality of the thing is, I've been in the game for long enough. My expectation is podium at Sheffield, and we have enough strength for podium. Do you know what I mean? So it's me doing my day, what I need to do, get 3 squat, go 3 bench, 2 deadlift, and load for that 3rd deadlift for podium, which we're going to make. So that's my expectation, really.
You know, it's interesting you say, like, does Ade have a top end total bigger than yours? With what you did at World Games, you have a bigger total registered officially than Ade. In terms of top end, at least on the surface level, now you could tell me Ade's got a lot of potential. I'd agree with you. But it's not factual, and we're guessing here, right? Like, would you say you have a bigger top end than Ade?
The numbers don't lie, is it?
Right.
Numbers don't lie because he has more talent than me. He's stronger than me. I can't shy away from it. But when he matters, who delivers?
So you do think he's stronger than you, though?
Oh, I mean, he's a young kid. He recover faster. What do you call it? As I mean, a lot of people have been coming to your podcast. Have been saying it. Young people, the progression rate is higher than older people like me. You know what I mean? But even though as these people are not looking at history, yeah, progression might be higher, but look on the platform, who's delivering? Do you know what I mean?
See, I don't know if the progression is. I don't know if it's higher than you at this point. Like your progression has been crazy the last couple of years.
No. At the moment where I'm sitting, even like from the British until now, no, he's not close. He's not close. But again, as I said, he's a young man. If you give him time to prep, now he has got Marcellus on his corner. if he actually prep well, anything goes well, yeah, he has the potential to beat me or even beat Joey B. He has that potential. But until that happens, we can't sit here and say he's the stronger than us. We can't. I'm sorry. I'm just a realistic. I'm a factual guy. You know what I mean? It's like people coming to me. The only people come to me say, this and so has a higher top end than you. I was like, really? How? You know what I mean? So
Joe B, what do you think? Does he got potential to have a higher total than you, Ade?
At the potential, I want to use just recent data and the trends that we're seeing. I would never put any 83 on the planet above myself in terms of potential, not even like the freaks like Jaden Lowe. So I just got to stand on business and say no. But just to go back on Jirens versus Ade, I think Jirens has taken over as the number one international contender because numbers don't lie, execution don't lie. He's the one performing. He's the one doing these crazy feats of strength on the platform, and he's not missing. So I think Jirens is the number one 83, not just in GB, but all of the world outside of Jaden Lowe. Outside of Jaden Lowe.
Jaden Lowe sparked people's interest.
I've heard it. Ryan asked for the question. I got the answers.
Yeah. Wow. It's interesting how the freaking 83s, man, people are popping up out of nowhere. The entire climate in 83s has changed. The entire roster has changed essentially. And I swear, SPD or somebody's got to do a freaking money meet and bring us the showdowns that Worlds can't bring, where we have all the American 83s, Taylor, Jaden, as well as Joe B. And then we bring Addy, Jirens, and we bring the World's 83s all together on one platform. If SPD or whomever can make that money meet happen, the matchups you could not get otherwise. Love to see it. Love to see all these fellas clash. But unfortunately, because the freaking in the UK and US, we're going to have bottlenecks. Not everyone's going to make it to these big meets, which is a freaking shame. Jaden will never sniff at any of this unless he can get by Joe B. You know how freaking crazy of an ass that is? That's crazy. Like, that's nuts, man.
I mean, I will stand by what I always say. I'm only going to face one. You know, you can name, you can make a list of them. How amazing Taylor is, how amazing Jaden is, how amazing Sean is, how amazing whoever is. But at the end of the day, when you come to the IPF platform, I'm only gonna face one.
That's right. One at a time, fellas. One at a time.
Mate. That's all.
You guys were allowed to double team Joe B though. That's the problem. You guys ganged up on him.
Do you know how much I was so pissed off at Ade at Sheffield starting and in Germany? You know, because with us, right, being the oldest in the team, doing this for a very long time, I know people always said to me, like, oh yeah, but you got to talk your share and all of that. I was like, look, you got to talk your share, you got to be realistic here, right? The platform I'm sharing with these guys, I can't be Delulu thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna go and crush them. No, I'm not gonna crush them. Because these guys, what they're doing in training, I'm not even touching that. Do you know what I mean? So I'm hoping Joey B go to Sheffield and miss one squat and he's toast.
That was a hamstring.
Yeah. No hamstring. I don't want him to get injured. He's a young man. Come on,
bicep. Something small, a bicep there.
Yeah, something like you got like a mosquito bite his ear or something. You know what I mean? But anyway, what I'm saying, like, then he's toast. But all I will say is like my thoughts. What I'm saying is, the reality is there's so much of us 83 around the world, right? Everyone are getting better. Everyone are getting. When I listen to podcasts, some people throwing all these numbers left, right, and center. I only believe numbers that people have done. You know, I love Taylor to bit. I love Ade to bit. When people go, even yourself, you said, even Joey B, I know you said it. When people say, oh yeah, it was so close. As an old man, as a finance man, I look at it, I was like, do you actually understand numbers the way numbers work? It was not close. It doesn't mean if someone load a lift, it's close. No. If you're saying close, I could have loaded 420 kilo in Germany. Then would you become on a podcast and say it was close?
But you can't move that. You can't move that off the floor. But Ade was an inch away from his lockout.
No,
that's it. That's different.
Inch away or no, he didn't get it. It's facts.
But he
You know what
almost
I
got
mean?
it though. The
You know,
things, okay, I know what you mean. I know what you're saying, Jirens, and I do agree, but I don't fully agree. I agree that the scoreboard at the end, but if someone just missed that winning pull, that lockout, and you know in your heart of hearts, like, oh my God, it skips a beat, they're like an
so
inch before
so
lockout. It's closer than
you
it
guys,
looks.
you guys look at the comp and you think it was a just. I will go back to Taylor, right? Against you at the national. A lot of people say that was close. I was like, he loaded
No, no,
367 kilo. He didn't move on the
that
floor. How the
wasn't.
fuck was that close?
No, no,
Do you
no.
know what I
That
mean?
that that okay. That I agree 100%. I I
Do you
I
know
know
what
what you're
I
saying.
mean?
So we're not totally off. I do agree on that. I'm glad he loaded it just to put a scare
Oh
in
yeah.
and to force Joe B to come out from the curtain. And when Joe B's looking around and like it's a moment, right? You forced the moment,
Mm,
but he
mm,
didn't he didn't and only he was going to be able to load that and create that
mm, mm,
suspense.
mm,
At least we
mm.
got that. But you're right, that wasn't close.
Mm. For me,
And
like, I'll give
out
I'll
of
give the flowers where our flowers are, right? At the 83, if you look at the landscapes around the world right now, Joey B is number 183, right? I'm sorry. Anyone out there that's thinking Joey B will be easily beaten or they can beat Joey B in a month or so, bro, you're in the wrong sport. Go back and play American football or whatever. I'm sorry. Do you know what I mean? For you to be because powerlifting is a numbers game. You don't expect him that has go, let's say, has go like pretty much what 30 kilo on us. Is it 30 or even more than that? You know what I mean? On us. You don't just
Joe will
expect
tell
to
you it's
close.
more.
Yeah, you don't expect that to close that. Yeah, at Sheffield, I was trying to make sure that it's not 30. You know what I mean? So you don't expect you to close that gap within 8, 12 weeks. It's not going to happen unless,
Mm.
as I said, Story B,
Hamstring
something
blow,
horrible happened. You know what I mean?
quad tear.
Which is like, he's a
Something.
man of God, and I'm a man of
Wh-
God. We know that it's
which we
healthy, it's not
pray
going to
we
happen.
as a man of God, you pray every day. As a man of
You
God,
know? So,
please let him blow a
yeah,
hamstring this week,
yeah.
please, God. Let me check my
So, yeah.
Instagram.
I
Let me hear
think
the
us,
announcement.
the rest of us, should put the work in. Is not attainable. Joey B is no unbeatable. I'll be honest. So he's not unbeatable. But at the moment, he's the number 183. He's leading the pack. All right. So we just need to do the work. That's all.
You got to essentially, and we'll get to you, Joe, but
Yeah.
essentially, you got to keep him honest. You've been here before. You went against Russ at Worlds, and it's the same talk. His total's heavier. He's done this and that. Everyone knows I'm gonna go through Russ's resume. You heard it all, and it still happens. This happens in sports. You keep them honest. You stay close. Opportunity arises. Same thing can happen here. And Joe knows he's got it. With you being there and the temptation. This is where I got to ask you, fellas. Now you have a head-to-head against each other, and then you have standings overall. And both of you guys are talking about podium overall. Um, but if Joe was to reach and miss for podium or some kind of big spot that it's a sweet spot opens up, oh my gosh, I better take it. That's when a guy like Jirens can be behind and be like, oh my, I might win the battle of the 83s if this young man swings and misses. It keeps everybody honest. There's layers upon layers. Joe B, when you go in here, what are your overall ambitions and goals and targets? Because you do have another 83. You were the reigning 83 kilo world champion. Is it in the back of your mind, I don't want to lose a head-to-head with Jirens? If I'm going to swing, I'm going to make sure I solidify certain wins over Jirens because he's there? Or are you like, nah, I'm not looking like that. I'm looking at overall rankings. Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, so like you said, he's in the back of my mind. It's not the first objective. And that's no disrespect to Jirens at all. Like it's just how I value Sheffield versus things like world titles. So my favorite or my number one goal at Sheffield is to put up a total big enough where I don't do nationals. I don't it's 5 weeks apart. It's like how much momentum can I really gain in 5 weeks? So I'm trying to punch my ticket back to Worlds. Worlds is bar none the most prestigious thing in the sport. That's what we chase. World titles. I think they outweigh World Games titles. I think it outweighs Sheffield titles. Like Worlds is by far, like I said, it's like the NBA Finals of powerlifting. So I want to get my ticket punched to Dubai, and that's where Open World's going to be. But I want to get my ticket punched there, solidify a big enough total, and then my next objective is to podium, right? But if I have to load, let's say, I don't know, let's throw a number 390 on my third deadlift to podium. But if I miss, I'm totaling sub 900. I'm not loading 390. I'm sorry. I need to get my boy back to world. So podium, it is what it is. Like, yeah, it'll be amazing, it'll be a blessing. But I need to go to worlds, and that's my number one priority. So that's number one. Podium number two. Jirens will be my third priority. Obviously, in the best case scenario, I can knock down all three. I can make podium. I can beat Jirens in the head to head, and I can put enough a big enough total to not
Mm,
do nationals. But
mm.
yeah, I think like if we were to scale this out here, like I'm 99% of my thought process is facing a total big enough not to do nationals, and I just want to go back to worlds. So everything
Mm.
else is way underneath that for me.
Yeah,
It's very
I agree.
practical.
To me, I agree with you what you're saying because again, as well, you look at the landscape, isn't it? Some of us are going to Sheffield. I'm already going to World.
Yeah.
I'm already there in Dubai, right? So we going to Sheffield is almost like what's the incentive? You because I think the American team are coming to Sheffield, they go more to lose than the rest of us. Do you know what I mean? Because what? Yes, you aim for a podium, you miss, you stay home, bro. You watch me
Yeah.
on that big screen smiling every day. I'm coming every time I'm coming to that squad, like Joey B, this is for you, bro. See you in
Well,
2028. Do you know what I mean? So it is a fact. You prioritize this thing how it goes. It's the exact same thing when I went to Sheffield last year. It was not, I know people were pushing the battles of the E3 with Russ and all of that. For me, yes, I've already beaten Russ. I'm the only man in the history that is still here that's done that. Do you know what I mean? So what else do I have? Go to Sheffield, place as high as I can on that podium. Wasn't even thinking about Ade. I was just thinking, look, I'm gonna go to Sheffield, place as high as I can. You know, maybe fourth spot would be great. That's what we were aiming for. Let's go for because I was no delusion of thinking I'm gonna podium. I knew what I was up against. I was like, look, fourth spot at Sheffield would be great because sometimes like people forget the priorities and start throwing all these stupid numbers, no knowing, bro, you got more to lose here than I do, than anybody else. So play your cards right. Don't just chase, oh yeah, I'm gonna total like 1 billion. Bro, what about if you miss? You watch at home. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
So yeah.
it, you're right. There is a lot more on the line for the Americans. Now, Joe, I think it's a good game plan to keep an eye on qualifying for Worlds. And if you're not going to lift the U.S. Nats, and you're looking at some of these other guys, of course, you got Jaden, you got Taylor. What do you anticipate you need to put up to beat these guys?
A safe total, I think, would be like 9-10-ish. I think 9-10 would like put me in that pocket where I don't have to fear anything happening. Not saying Taylor can't Hail Mary deadlift and go for 9-10, but he's going to be in that battle with Jaden. So that battle itself, I think, will drop top ends a little bit. And I think 9-10 will put me in a really good position where I don't have to go to nationals.
I don't know if you heard the podcast with Jaden. Jaden said 900 doesn't scare me. If my man goes around 910 range, I'm probably going to have to bow out and say, okay, 900. I'll catch you later. So you're probably pacing around. And he's not saying he's like, I guarantee 900 or whatever. He's like, I think in 2026, 900 is probably possible. You, the year before you hit around the same age, and he's only been powerlifting for 2 years, which is insane. He's already this far after 2 years of powerlifting at 20. But you were 865, and then the following year, you're like 900. It's crazy. But you guys, like Jirens had said, rate of adaptation, you're young, and it's crazy strides. Jaden, and you don't always have that pacing. Some guys show potential, and then pacing slows. All of a sudden, they don't work out. Don't want to put too much eggs in that basket of Jaden. But Jaden, with only 2 years of powerlifting at 20, and he's already at 873, you got to think. If he says, look, in 2026, I think I'll go around 9. I don't know if it's by nationals. But so if Joe B is 9, 9, 10, probably not. But at least I can make him have to have a good day. I can make him have to hit his list at least. Go ahead, Jirens. Looks like you want to say something.
Can I ask you guys a question? Because I've listened to a lot of podcasts, I've seen numbers and across left, right, and center, people throwing 900. I blame you, Joey. You know, did 900 over 900 twice, and it become like a just bloody something you pick up a lot from the market. People nowadays, they don't know you need to work hard for it. But anyway, talking about, of course, the Taylor, the Jaden, the rest of the 83s around the world, right? Someone comes in, blows something up, people go, oh yeah, the next one to Joey B throne is Jaden. Now people are saying it's Jaden. The people don't realize Joey B only took that throne just 12 months ago. Do you think within 12 months, if you lose that throne, you're gonna be the shortest reigning king?
Oh, that was you. That was you. Hold
No,
on.
no, no. For me, I lost that throne in Germany, but someone that had 30 kilo ahead of me. Do you know what I mean? That's normal. I consider that, look, that's normal. But anyway, my question goes to this one, Ryan, right? I like the kid, Jaden Lowe. Amazing kid, speaks well. He has a very good team around him. He has a very good head on his shoulders. He's strong as hell. You can't deny it. He's young and all of that. But my question is, what did he total his last meet and when was it? Because that's one I don't.
873 SBD Austin.
What about before that?
It was like 840 something. So he had a pretty big jump.
And how long has it been?
It was within the same year. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I think
so.
In the same year.
If I'm right, correct if I'm wrong. I'm not really a nerd when it comes to people's career. So he probably did that in what? Beginning of the year or March or April or something. Right?
I believe
so. 840 something. And then October, it had 30 kilo. The world blows. And I'm sitting here that, is that not what the normality should be at that age? And where powerlifting
is it? I don't know. It seems crazy. Like 873.
This kid we're talking here, every time he was doing his meet, he was adding like 60 kilos.
That's crazy.
That's not the norm, though. That's not the norm.
No, that's not the norm.
Yeah, but
Joe's not normal.
That's what I'm saying. If he added 30 kilo, you add 60, the norm has to be at least 50%, isn't it? Or 20%.
Yeah, I don't know, dog. This is some weird math. I don't know, dog. Now you're talking numbers. Listen, I don't know what kind of math you're doing here. Hey, man. You sound like an accountant who's cooking the books right now.
Oh,
you got a chef's hat on and you're going to get audited.
Look, I'm an investment banker, so...
That's right. So
what I'm saying, the kid is tremendously strong. Is a lot in terms of like, of course, he's a hard worker because I listen to him in terms of how he's really into his programming, what he does, and all of that thing. This is we want to see freaks coming up. I really believe Joey B is not a freak. I believe Perks is not a freak. I believe the freaks are out there, they're not out yet. You know what I mean? The person that you see an 83 kilo guy who come in and score 350 for reps. That's a freak to me. You know, I don't know about you, Joey B. Do you see anyone in the powerlifting now, apart from Agata, do you see anyone from now that you recognize and you consider as a freak?
Every day he shaves and brushes his teeth.
That too. No, I think there's definitely freaks out there. I mean, a freak, I think, is comparative to the talent pool already here, right? You can't just like have futuristic freaks, you know what I mean? You can't just say in 15 years, because in 15 years, that guy's going to be a freak in comparison to today's standards. But then you can say the same thing in 15 years. Well, no one's a freak now. Wait another 15 years. Like, you can keep pushing that can down the road. So I think there are freaks, and I would define a freak as, okay, this is getting weird. Hold on. An extreme outlier. Let's change the verbiage real quick. An extreme outlier. All right. Okay, I would say that would be somebody that's so above the current talent pool, not the future talent pool, but the current one that we're already in. I'll classify that person if they're at a certain degree above everyone else. They'd be considered that freak. But yeah, they're obviously the talent pool is going to keep increasing. We're going to get more and more genetic phenoms in the future, but that doesn't discount anyone that's currently far above the talent pool, like Perk and Agata and hopefully myself real soon at Sheffield.
The one thing that Jirens had touched up on, which is true, is you got a guy, when it comes to Jaden, he's only been in it for 2 years, and he still has that, like, I want to train every single day. I want to train all day. Like on that podcast, because it's so new. Everything's new to him. He's still finding out about people. You know when you find something and it's new and cool and you're like so interested and you're like researching, oh, this new guy dropped. Who's this guy? And you're researching people and you're meeting people and you're taking it in and like a thirsty man. That's the type of youthful moment that he's in and in the gains he's having. And the fact that he's already at 873 while in that moment, while in that phase of his career is pretty crazy. Again, it doesn't mean it's going to continue on that rate, but I don't know. Only time will tell.
No, we want him to continue because we want to see that. You know, I mean, me, the way I look at myself, probably I'll retire or die at 83. I don't really see me going anywhere. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. So, but I want to see my weight class still being talked about. You know, 2024, 2025. The way the 83 have gone, I mean, has made me, fun enough, right? I'm not going to kid you guys. it's made me invest into powerlifting even more. You know, at one point, even after one world, I was just like, maybe, yeah, this is it, you know. You know what I mean? This is it. But and then again, 2025 turned around. You see the Joey B, the Russ, even though he fucked up through the 93. You know what I mean? I hope he pulled an hamstring at Sheffield. But anyway, you know what I mean? He fucked up to the 93 because I
I
wanted
pray to
Russ
God. I
here.
pray to God.
See, I wanted Russ here. So I want all the stars, right? So I really hope like these kids and all these people coming, they keep on improving every year. So we don't get stuck like with Russ era from 2019 to almost like 2021, 2024. We got stuck. The 83 were stuck. It's almost like Russ dropped a curse on us. No one will total more than 842.5 kilos. Even Delaney came in, he only added like 1 kilo on it. You know what I mean? That's a curse. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And so hopefully it's not gonna happen. That's where my prayers are. Hopefully it's not gonna happen. It's exciting.
Joe B, are you saying, oh, I got news for you? There is a new curse coming down, and it's ain't nobody moving over 9, and it's going to be me for 5 years. What do you think,
It's
Joe
just
B? Are you
me.
going to? Do you want a reign of terror at 83 yourself?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I want to be the first 83 to three-peat because what did Russ won two, Delaney won two throughout that COVID year,
That's
and
true.
then Brett Gibbs won two as well, right? So
Yep.
only three people have two-peated, or not two-peated, but have won two titles, and I'd be the first to win three. So that's the first goal. And then from there, I decide, okay, I look at the 93s, how far above are they from me, or am I above them? Like I don't know, because we're close right now. And I'm still looking at Russ's total at Sheffield. Like in the back of my mind, I want to go kilo for kilo. I said this last podcast, but
Right.
I don't think he's out of reach. I mean, he just squatted like 370 or something atrocious. So that's most yeah, that was insane. But
Something
it's crazy.
atrocious.
Yeah, it was.
That's a good word.
I was I was sick the rest of the day. I
I
felt
don't know.
bad.
I don't know what
Bedridden.
that. I really don't know what a Negro has been eating because every time I see shit like that, I'm thinking like, bro, do you even? I think, honest to God, right? I know Ryan, you're close to Russ, but honest to God, I don't think even Russ himself realize what those numbers mean.
It's crazy.
I don't think he
Yeah.
realized that. I know he celebrates when he does it, but in his head, I don't think he realized what those numbers mean. These are the 120 plus squats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absurd.
I got
Oh
people in the
gosh.
untested. I got people in the untested tagging me, and I'm like, you guys aren't paying attention. There are people on the tested side that are doing what you're doing and more, and that are
Oh,
like 30
you know,
pounds less than you.
you know, you
Okay,
know.
speaking of the 93s, real quick,
Mhm.
we got a hell of a battle. We got the world champion. We got in the mill. We got the returning Sheffield in world champion in Gustav. And then we got the world record holder in Russ, multiple time world champion as well. All three of these guys have won world titles, broken world records. All three of these guys are as decorated as they come. And they're all going head up. And we all remember in that King Live studio session when I asked those fellas, Russ is coming. What do you think? And they're like, we will be prepared. We welcome him. And Russ is in the comments like, I'll see you boys soon. Well, it's here. The big showdown is here. We don't got to wait any longer. What the heck do you guys think is going to happen?
I think Russ is gonna take it over.
Really?
He's
You
going.
think
He's
he
going.
is, eh?
After that squat, man. He has my full faith. I'm not gonna lie. There's nothing you can do when someone in your weight class squats 50 kilos more than you. At that rate, like and their bench. Okay, so Russ's bench is obviously a little bit less, but their deadlifts are all pretty comparable. Like Russ can pull like 365. He's within 10, 15 at most, depending on what Emil can pull. I think if he goes 380, then he's gonna have that little advantage there. But no, Russ's squat alone is what's gonna carry him to this wreckage of a total. It's nuts. It's nuts to look at. Like it makes. I thought Jamar was the squat king at a point. I think now Russ is taking the crown and just he's gonna reign with it for a minute. So I think Russ is the clear cut favorite right now. I'll put all my eggs on Russ, and then the other 93s, Emil and Gustav. I think they can rival him, but he'd have to miss a squat. Like that would be it. Like Russ would have to miss not a deadlift or a bench, but in more particular a squat. If he misses the squat, they can rival. If not, I think he's clear cut the favorite, no doubt about it.
And not for nothing. I'm going to throw this to you as well, Jirens, obviously, but the biggest issue would be if he missed a squat and people could see it on depth. If he misses a squat, he's super thick right now. Like he's him at 83, he was super thick. 93, he's 22 pounds heavier, 10 kilos heavier. He's very thick. So if the quads and everything, if it's difficult, and let's say it's borderline, but just doesn't go his way, jury overturns it, what have you. If that third squat doesn't go his way, the battle's on. Because Emil and Gustav looks good, man. He is shuffling weights. Gustav is a guy that doesn't look amazing in prep. He never does top end. He does not like Joey B or Russ or like you guys hit some huge numbers in prep. Gustav doesn't do that. So he'll underwhelm you in prep and overwhelm you in comp sometimes. But I agree that if you're saying, look, I think Russ is probably a favorite due to what I'm seeing, but you got to hang on to that third deadlift if you need it. And you got to nail that third squat, and the jury's got to like it. So it's not. What do you think, Jirens?
For me, is Oba, I call him Oba, Russ the King. So when you look at the battle of 93s, I agree what Joey B is saying, but I don't see Russ squatting 372.5 at Sheffield. It's not going to happen because I'm looking at the travel, I'm looking at the strict platform at Sheffield as well, and the battle is going to be in. Do you know what I mean? Because loading those type of numbers is not just for the gram, but is you load it, you got to make sure you hit it. Because that third squat of Russ is going to be 15, 20 kilos from his second, right? Because knowing the way Russ compete, the second will be a world record, which is going to be 356. And for him to go to that third, as I said, it's going to be 15, 20 kilos. You know what I mean? And you need to gauge that. Do you want to get an 800-pound squat or you want to get a 370 squat? You miss a 370 squat, you lose 15, 20 kilos. And already, Emil, he's around 230, 245 bench. That's huge. Do you know what I mean? Because would Russ be able to bench 215? I don't think Russ has a 215 in him. You know what I mean? So that's basically Emil getting 30 kilo there. And on the pull as well, as we said, and again, no shade here, but we know Russ has had issues with that last pull. I don't know, Joey, you said 365, and I don't see Russ putting 365. You know what I mean?
Emil could.
Because Emil could, but because the thing with Russ is like the 355 he pulled at NAPF is because he did a Joey B, going all in on that second pull to break the world record. But if Russ chose 3 deadlifts, there's no way on earth Russ would get a third deadlift at 360 plus. Do you know what I mean? Let me put everything in 355 and then get my world record, I'm sorted, which is I applaud. When you're in a meet like that, that's the decision you make. Exact same thing Joey B did in America. You meet like that at 1900, put it all in that third. You know what I mean? So you do things like that. But in terms of again, for me, when you look at the strength level, I'm really close to Gustav and I'm really close to Emil. I see the reality, what they're doing in training. What you guys are seeing on social media is not what's happening in training. That's a fact. Right? So as we said, again, as much as I can say that, but what Joey said there, if Russ goes and get that third squat, that is a mountain for these 83 to catch Russ. Unless literally like on the warm-up on the deadlift, my man pull an hamstring or he had a bleed or something, then his deadlifts go down. But anyway, jokes aside, Russ is his to lose. Russ decide and Joey flex, the number to put on the bar is the numbers that are going to make him win it and lose it. Simple. If they go because remember, they can blow the world record. I was literally doing the maths. I said, look, if Perks come and did this 900 that Perks is talking about, right? And McNaughton come and do the 1,000 he's talking about. Joey B come and does the 910, 915. How much would Russ have to break the world record to even podium? We're talking about maybe 950, And I sat there at home, I'm thinking, what Russ need to do to get 950? He would have to have like a 370, 75 deadlift. Honest to God, do you think Russ has a 375 deadlift?
No.
You know what I mean?
No,
So this is what I'm thinking in my head. So for me, the battle of 93 is his. But we will turn up to be Emil or Gustav if he doesn't do the right numbers. That's what I'm putting down. Because Emil has a 245 bench in him. And Gustav, as much people saying, yeah, Gustav can score 340. At the World Games, they just chose the wrong numbers on that squat of Gustav. if they picked the numbers right, he had about 335, 37 at the World Games. They just chose it wrongly. So let's not think about, okay, Russ squat and Gustav squat is going to be 30 kilo. Hell no, it's not going to be 30 kilo. It's not going 30 kilo. 20 kilo probably I can give it to you. You know what I mean? But if it's 20 kilo, just imagine what ground Gustav will close on the bench and what ground Gustav will do on a deadlift. I'm just going to leave it out there. So Russ, he's to lose, and they just have to make the raw numbers, the raw calls. So that's all.
How about this, fellas? Okay, Sheffield's done. Is it all a foregone conclusion in terms of Will Ball waiting in the wings, like some people would suggest? Is Will Ball really the heir apparent who's ready to seize the day in 2026 for the 93s? Joe B, what do you think?
Open potential, I say yes, but I need to see it on like an actual stage with some adversary. And with that total glooming over at nationals at the same time, because Russ is going to put something crazy up. I think he's going to go over the world record. Like that's a given. Now, how much? Does he go 930? Does he go 940? Only 925? I'm not sure. But that total itself will put pressure at people at nationals. Pair that with the battle, and not just like any half-ass battle. You're going against Keiko, Gavin Aiden, Petrie,
Petrie.
Meech,
Yeah.
Bukwa. There's so many people out there coming above 900 kilo that I just have to see with my own eyes first. But we're just talking about straight up potential and top end strength and rate of progress. I would say Will has the advantage. He has the advantage to train a little bit more, go to nationals, see what to put up after Russ competes. So that's going to help a lot. But he's had very inconsistent meets in the past. And that's why his total was so low on open powerlifting. You're like, oh shit, he skipped right over 800. We went right to 900. Like that wasn't the case. At nationals, if he didn't bomb out, he was good for mid eights, right? But he couldn't express that top end because he missed all his squats on depth, right? So I think his rate of progress is high, but it's not as crazy as everyone is claiming to see. That he's not adding 200 kilos in a year. He didn't add that, but it is fast. It's crazy. It's fast. But if we're just going based off potential, he'd be the guy. But I just don't see it happening. I would have to put my money on Russ getting the ticket if he goes 940. But if he goes under 940, I think Keiko might do it. But Will still load up whatever he needs. His deadlift is looking absurd. Yeah.
Okay, so first off, I agree on, his rate wasn't from 700s to 920. The fact that he bombed in between just more kept him off people's radar. Didn't see him coming as much because he's not registering the totals, and it's all conjecture without an official total. Like Jirens was saying, the potential is great. Let me see what you got. But having said that, he is 1920. He's young as heck. But it doesn't always mean you're going to throw on those kilos like that. Interesting that you said, I think Russ 940 and would be your 2026 favorite so far anyways to appear at Worlds. That'd be crazy. Russ at Worlds is always special. And then if not him, Keiko, who is hitting PRs as well. And you cannot sleep on a guy like Keiko. But Keiko, mid-30s, whatever. Ask Jirens about mid-30s success. But yes, Keiko's still in there. Jirens, what do you think? Do you think
I'll put it out there straight. Let me start with it. I don't believe in age, right? Age to me is just a bullshit number. You know what I mean? I know people can rely on that. Oh yeah, my recovery is better, my rate of progression is better. Look, mate, if I was not an investment director, if I did not have a woman and a child, I don't think people will be talking this conversation in 83. Right? I only give 10% of my life into powerlifting. And some week, I only train twice a week because I don't have time. So if I were doing what the Joey B, the Jason Lowe do, the idea following the data and doing this, to sleep and all of that, it would be crazy because I really believe my genes level are very high-end genes level. Because for me to be able to do what I'm doing now at this age, it must be something somewhere. The amount of work I put into powerlifting does not warrant me to be on the platform these guys. No way. Something's happening somewhere, right? That's just me. So this is hence why I'm just talking from experience. I know people will listen to this saying, yeah, but he's talking shit left and right and center. But I really believe age is not a factor here. You know what I mean? Because I can work hard, do the 900, the 910. I don't feel 920 as an 83 anymore. I sit there, I'm thinking, oh, I can actually total 920. You know what I mean? And then I got a path for that I can do this and this and this and do 920. So anyway, going back to the 93s is Will Bowl is amazing. He's an amazing guy. He's strong as fuck. But for me to sit there and write Russ off or that spot in Dubai, I will be delusional because he's done it. He's proven it. As much as how young you are, as much as how talented you are, as much as how strong you are, but there's only one person that's put it on paper that we've all seen. It's him. Right? Again, it goes back to what I said. The American got a lot to lose at Sheffield. Flex put the run numbers on that slip for Russ. Russ can sleep at home calmly, drink his coffee, snowing. I'm going in the desert in June. Fact. Because he has the numbers for no one to touch. But again, if I flip the coin, we're talking about Will Ball, right? 920. Well, it has 920, right? We're talking about Will Ball 920. Guys, do you know a chap called Gavin, total 901, 1 year ago? Right? And now, almost a year and 8 months or 9 months at the national, you telling me Gavin has not added 35 kilo on that 901? You know what I mean?
He'll tell you he's added 99 kilos onto that.
Oh man, Gavin, the other day, I heard him said like 1,000 kilos. Well, no.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But anyway, what I'm saying is, Will Ball, as Joey B said, me personally, I'm not a 93. I'm not ashamed to say this or shade on the kid. The kid is strong. I love him. I follow him. I send him message every now and then. I saw those big numbers. But you need to prove it to all the dogs like us. Mate, prove it on a battle. Do you know what I mean? Prove it on a battle. When Joey B did 900 at the US, he had a lot of credibility because he did it against a battle. But when he did a 904 at Venkis, it was just a number. I'm sorry. It was just a number. You know what I mean? But we go to Sheffield, he does 915 or 910, as he's saying, that has credibility. It's not because in the international. No, you did it on a battle. Even me, right? I went to the World Games. The only reason I rate my World Games performance is not because I total 872.5. If everyone sees it, Joey, I was saying this to people, the 872.5 is the total I had in Germany. That's the exact total. If I went 9 for 9 with my squat that I missed and my bench I missed, is 872.5. And when I hit that, people go, oh my God, did you see Jirens done? I was like, he's the same total as in Germany, guys. What are you talking about? Do you know what I mean? So what makes my performance in the World Game impressive is the fact, as the Americans say, I flew in 12 hours. I competed against 5 men on a flight. They were giving us a minute to rest. You all know as a powerlifter, 5 men on a flight, a minute to rest is not enough. And I went and did that. That to me, that's what made it impressive, not the total. Is the fact that I did that on that circumstances. That's what made it impressive. If me and my coach, you ask us like, what about the total? We said, nah, man. If we had 12 men like the Sheffield, we would have gone for 890. 100%. That was the plan. If we had 8 men or 12 like Sheffield, the aim would have been 890. But we only stuck with the Germany total is because we said, look at the circumstance. Let's go for the Germany total. Let's make sure we solidify that total on the platform. Let's do that. And we did that. So for me, like the moral to that story is Russ has done it. Russ has done it. Gavin has done it. Petrie has done it. And then you put on top of that, Kaiko. I know it's your fault you ruined Kaiko's life by calling him Mr. Perfect, and now the man that can't win a fucking championship anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's your fault. Do you know what I mean? So Kaiko has got in his DNA of, as he said, let's fight. You know what let's fight is. So all these people throwing number, Will Ball will do this. Look, I love Will Ball, as I said. He's a tremendous guy. The future is bright. Man, you can't write people like Kaiko off or Gavin. You know what I mean? I will be sitting there in my TV and my popcorn because that battle, I know Russ will be doing the exact same thing because they will have a number to chase. And then with them being on that battle, what's the chance of you hitting that number on that battle? It's very slim. So that's why I'm still think Russ still going to be in Dubai. I really believe that.
Agreed. Hold up, real quick. Let me interject real quick.
Go
You said you're on pace for 890 at World Games, right?
Yeah.
So what are you on pace for now? Do you have a range or
For Sheffield.
yeah?
Oh, for Sheffield, we are going for 895, 900 for Sheffield.
He's bullshitting. He's bullshitting. He's going
Fam.
910. He said 920 don't scare him. 920
No,
don't scare
no,
you?
because I know if I total 895, 900, 920 would not scare me. It's only 20 kilos.
Okay, it's within your lifetime, you're saying though,
Yeah,
920, right?
no, I'm not saying
Okay.
920 now. Come on. I don't have the strength for 910 now. If I say to you, I'm going to total 905, 910 at Sheffield right now, mate, I'm lying. I'm talking shit. But in my head, I'm thinking, if I score, let's just say, let me give you the numbers, right? If I score 322 and a half, I'm not even giving higher ball. That's 5 kilo on my best squat. 322 and a half. And I bench 200, which is another 5 kilo on my bench press.
Yeah.
Right. And I've done 200 in training already, right? That's my 5 kilo on my bench press. And my deadlift, 370 or 372. That's a little bit more, which is like 12 kilo and a half on my best pull. That's attainable. That's 895 there.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
That is attainable. This is how I work in my head. I'm thinking, okay, the only lift I'm going to have to work hard probably is my deadlift. Put in 12 kilos, it will be too much. But we'll go for it. If I don't need 12 kilos, I need 10 kilos, I need 990, I go for 990. We'll see where the position is, right? But again, a lot of people will do a 310 for free like me. They will be saying, oh, I want a 335 squat. You have no idea. When you look on your left, is this Perk. You look on your right, is Joy B. In front of you, there's a McNaughton, and you're thinking, what about if I miss that 30? I lose 20 kilo. Fuck no. Do you know what I mean? So this is how I work in my head, Joey. So again, I'm a realistic guy. 895 should not be a number that will worry me because I know it's only like a 5 kilo here, 5 kilo here, 10 kilo here. They're possible. Do you know what I mean? So, but in terms of for me to go like, 905, because again, if I were doing 905, 910, in my head, I'm thinking, so I need like a 330. Oh man,
Yeah,
12 kilo and a half, 12 kilo and a half on the squat is a lot. I'm not Perks. That's a lot. And then I'm thinking I will need probably a 302, 202, 205. That's a lot of bench for me. Do you know what I mean? And then in the deadlift, I'm thinking, I'm going to have to put a world record.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So which is not going to happen. I might scare you to load the world record, but would it happen? I don't know.
Are you letting Perk out total you though?
We'll find out.
I was gonna say, see, my question.
Look, all I'm saying is, I am not letting a tiny little 94 to take the piss out of me that I'm like 74, that I'm like 9, 10 kilo heavier. And plus, I'm 37 years old. This man, I'm 10 years older than him. I'm not letting someone like that embarrass me on that platform, especially at my home. No, no, it's not happening. Yeah, but I know
he's going 9. He's going 9 though.
But you need to
make ask Joe B. Right now, so official. You guys predictions for Perk? Joe B, you say he goes 9.
I think it's 100% guaranteed. Like all you need is 5 more kilos in the squat. Take 5 kilos off that, or 2.5 off that deadlift that he hit in training. He's good to go, and that's a very low ball estimate on the squat. I think he has 340 in the tank, no doubt. He tripled 330, right? Was that the number? Took for a ride.
I knew 897 in the gym for a total.
It was a 330 trip, and based off that, 340 that's automatic. So take 10 kilos right there. Match the bench. He's taking 216. That's a given. He wants the world record. And then deadlift, all he needs is 347. Boom, that's right 900. So it's automatic. There's zero doubt in my mind. He doesn't go 9. So
Jirens, you think 9? It's probably there for him.
I love Perks. I talk to Perk every single week. He's like a little brother to me. So even today, he did his last squat of the prep. He said it to me. He's like, that's my last squat. What do you got? I was like, well, you fucking prick. Do you know what I mean? I was thinking about getting that number on my last squat for a single. My man just doubled it. I was like, oh, fuck. You know what I mean? This is what I go through with this kid. So with Perks, realistically, I've said this to him. If he's going to listen to this and the conversation me and him had, I said to him, load what you need to win. Don't load because Ryan want to post a recap on King of the Lift and people call you the greatest of all time. Remember, the greatest of all time now, tomorrow, it will pass. But if you win, that's the one that sticks forever. I beat Russ with 845 in a world, Joey B come and hit the world record on 890. Mate, I'm still a world champion. That sticks. Do you know what I mean? So what I said to him, I said, load what you need. Realistically, I said to him, I said, look, 885, 890, win you Sheffield. I don't care what all these balls or what they're talking about. Do you know what I mean? Win you Sheffield. Because that is 50 kilos going to add on the record that is currently
it's
there.
It's also 5 kilos below where you're aiming for.
Yeah,
Incidentally.
100%, 100%. I had all of that intention. I had all
Incidentally.
that intention. Exactly. I had all that intention. I was like, yeah. Because I know 890, if I don't get my 5 kilo, at least I can get a 2.5 to hit more than a world record. You know what I mean? So
Right,
it's still going to be 2.5 kilo more. But anyway, what I said, for me, he has the potential to get 900, but Perks is not going to load 900.
You don't think so?
He's not needed. He's not needed.
Interesting.
He's not. What about if he load 900, miss?
Mm.
The only reason Perks will load, the only reason Perks will load 900 if he wins Sheffield in the second deadlift.
I think he will. I think he goes like 335 on the second, wins it off that, and goes 347 on the third. Takes it for the 900.
Do you want to bet on that?
He takes small jumps on deadlift anyways, like 15 or 12.
I'm saying that. Do you want to bet on the 900? You put 900, and I tell you 885, 890.
I'm not. Well, Perk wants 9, so I'm not betting against you. You're the one betting against Perk.
Okay, for me, like, again, he's strong. He's capable for Ryan. I said he's capable, but I don't see Perk hitting 900. Don't see that.
Yeah, strategically,
Yeah,
you don't think
I don't see that. He can do it, but I don't see that happen because, again, as you said, it's going to be a number where you were the first 74 to hit 900. Wow. You know, we all celebrate, right? Okay, what about you, miss?
Yeah, it's a big. If you lose, it means lose. If it means losing Sheffield, you're 100% right in that you win worlds no matter what in 5 years. The total you had isn't going to be impressive in 5 years, but winning will. You're right there because I've been around for 10 years commentating at worlds, and John Hack, who's a legend, won worlds in the 83s with like 815.
No, hold on, let me correct that. 813.
13, yeah. So John Hack. So in the end, it doesn't matter. Your total will never stand up years later, but the achievement will. People always remember, he was an IPF world champion. You guys are world champions. So I do get what you mean. And plus, like, God, if you miss going for 900 and you could have won Sheffield of all, and you miss because you overreached and you didn't need it to win, the only thing would be he's smaller, so he's going to be going first before like all you guys.
Yeah, but really because again, Joey B is talking about 915, 920, right? That's 30 kilos on an 83 total, right? And McNaughton is talking about 1,000. If McNaughton comes in and he like 1020, because he's powerlifting, you never know.
Yeah, he says he wants to beat Bob Matthews 10.5.
So listen to that, 10.5. How much is he going to add to his total? Do you know what I mean? Because I was thinking about it because I got Christian. I have my coach as Christian. Christian's a really number guy. Do you know what I mean? He's so fucking, he's just on a spectrum when it comes to numbers. Because if McNaughton hit like 1010, because the world record, it was 975 now, isn't it? 0.5. If he hit 1010, I mean, you do the math. That's 35 kilos. All right? Yes, Perks got in, 35 on top of Perks. That would be like, 880. Let's say he doesn't make 880 on the second pull. So what he's going to do? Load for 900? Joey B wanted him to get 900.
He takes small jumps on the deadlift now. He takes the small jumps. He's going to be over 880 on the second. Guaranteed. I'll bet on that. I think 885 on the second.
But to me, I really want to see big performance at Sheffield because when people talk about Sheffield, you know, the Jesus Sheffield, some people take pride of that Sheffield because of what Jesus did. You know, and some people are like, I was on the first Sheffield. For me, no matter what I do on my performance in terms of myself, but big performance, I'm looking forward to it because I will tell people I was on the platform with those people. I was there in that warm-up room. I saw when these little, tiny, stupid cunt 74 squatted after me. I mean, I saw that. It hurt my feelings. They loaded my bar before his, which is going to happen. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. So yeah, I really want to. I want him to do it, but I think he should prioritize the win first, mate. The win comes first.
What do you guys think about this replacement for Agata? Who's this going to be? Who? If you could just make your decision yourselves and be like, okay, take this person. This will be the best possible, and don't worry about rules or anything. It feels
No
good to
bias,
you.
right? Also put there, said to Joey B not to be biased because he's American. So Americans are pretty biased. Don't be biased.
Americans are pretty biased. And
Thinking,
everyone
I'm
knows
thinking.
that. And everyone knows that. What do you think, Jirens? Do you have someone that you would throw in there in place of Agata?
Of course. Megan
Okay.
Lee Smith.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah,
How can you she's the one out there, you know what I mean, in going Bali with a world record on her name. And
Yeah.
people are going to Sheffield to break her world record.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And she could conceivably be the first 52 to cross 500, and that's not.
Yeah.
She did 490. Like it's by no means, that's not an eye rolling prediction to make. Not only could she take a world record, she could do a new milestone, and against her rival Evie Corrigan, no less in the house. I don't know if Evie's bothering to cut to 52 or not, but
Oh, Evie's gonna go 57. She's not cutting.
okay. So
She's not cutting.
nevertheless, you're right. Probably Megan Lee. If you wanted a straight up showdown, a head to head showdown, now it depends on where she's at, but rematching Cranen versus Carlina, if you wanted a head to head, if you're just thinking head to heads, that'd be a nice rematch because their worlds was an amazing amazing battle right to the last deadlift. But in terms of merit, I think probably Megan Lee Smith, yeah, for sure. It'd be very difficult not to.
Yeah, Cranen will bring eyes.
Oh yeah.
Right? If we want our sports to get to the next level, then we need a Cranen. We 100% need a Cranen because she's gonna bring the eyes.
Massive.
But if we just go for what's out there in terms of the way these criteria goes, even I'm not gonna lie to you, again, people crucify me on this. When I saw the the wild card released, I was shocked. Do you know what I mean? To see no Megan Lee Smith be there, I was puzzled. Again, I don't know what goes in the background. I don't know the one that run the business. But what I'm just saying, like, the numbers are there. If you don't take her, then who else? Do you know what I mean? And the choices were made, which is, I'm not saying what the choices were made were bad. They're brilliant choices. You know what I mean? Having, of course, Megan Skyland there and Sonita. You know, Sonita was one of them, what I was saying, like, we need to, not because I'm a friend to Sonita, but we need a Sonita there. Especially we don't have Jesus. I was, funny enough, right, on the men's side, Joey B, I don't know what you're going to think. I was praying for Jesus to get wildcard. I was like, look, I know what Russ did. I know what Taylor tried to do at the NPF. Of course, good stuff to mend the lifter. But if you pull all four, you tell me pick one for Sheffield, I'll pick Jesus straight. Because it's powerlifting, it's show. You want the biggest man to shift the biggest weight. Do you believe this Sheffield? I'm sorry to see there's people that want to hear this. This Sheffield, the biggest squat at this Sheffield probably is going to be 375 by McNaughton. Could you believe that? We're going to Sheffield to watch a 375 biggest squat. There's no 400 squat this time at Sheffield. I'm just going to put it out there to people. There is not a 400 squat. There is not a 275 bench at Sheffield. To me, that's missing what Sheffield is. You know, and then to add that salt into wound and nail on that coffin, and potentially the fourth or fifth biggest squat at Sheffield is going to come from a bloody, stupid, stinky 74 kilo lifter. Do you know what I mean?
You threw Stinky in there this time. I know.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
You find him,
bro. You don't understand how we feel as 83. You see a 74 tripling 330. People don't. I'm sorry, man. You have to be a lifter and a competitor to understand what Perks is doing. It's just anyway. I'll stop there.
What do you think, Joe? He made a bunch of good points in there. First off, Megan Lee Smith. In terms of the replacement, the original question, she seems like the most, but if you're looking for a head-to-head in pure star power, Cranen's obviously high up there. And then some of his points fair enough about Jesus. When it comes to the world championships, whether he has a battle or not, just having the world's strongest man, the strongest man of all time, does mean something. But you got to lose somebody to put him in. What are your thoughts on all this?
So to backtrack on like the woman replacement, I was thinking Janae simply because she did that 600 kilo doubling block. So her versus Megan Scanlon and Alba would be like that'd be the greatest 69 battle of all time. So obviously it's not warranted based off her resume, but just based off pure entertainment. And I'm not biased for Americans. That's not definitely
You
not
are,
me.
you are,
Not me at
because
all.
we,
Not,
we've
not, not.
we've had the greatest 69 battle of all time: Leia, Agata, and Corolla.
This one will be better though. Everyone's gonna be over like 6'10", 620. It's gonna be crazy.
Okay.
All right, but whatever. Regardless, I think Megan deserves it the most. But for eyes, it'll be Cranon, and then for my personal bias, it would be Janae. All right, that's
I'm
simple answer
glad.
right there. All right, for my personal, I was just joking around, but for the
Yeah.
point that he made about Jesus now, I was thinking about it, and I didn't think of him as like the front runner for that wild card. Obviously, Russ had been one of them. So it was either we take another 93 to get that battle going, or we get the strongest man alive. But I think Russ was the automatic shoe in before
Hmm.
Jesus was even a thought. But afterwards, Jirens is right. We want to see the strongest fucking human of all time, at least tested within the biggest platform of all time, right? They go hand in hand. That's why 2023, the first Sheffield ever, it was so memorable for a reason. Because in my opinion, Jesus almost made that meet. He solidified Sheffield for what it was. So almost as like a reward for his journey and the process that he's been building on. I feel like he just deserved it based off that and just based off like the merit from previous years. But no one knew what he was going to do at the SBD meet, right? If we knew he was going for an all time world record total, I would say automatically like yeah, just save that. Don't do it at SBD Austin. Save it for Sheffield. Like if I knew he was at that level, but not everyone did. We've seen him at higher levels before. For Worlds, for example, he was looking great in prep, tweaks his hamstring or hip on the squat, for example, right? So if I was like guaranteed to see a top end performance from him, or at least near top end, like near that 1150 mark, I would be like automatic, yeah, get Jesus in. But with Jesus, almost like a flip of a coin. He can be over 11, he can be under 11. You see what I mean? We have no idea whether he's going to go for the world record or not. But just based off, like I said, merit from previous years, I think he did deserve it over. No hate to Gustav, but over Gustav. But it is what it is. I feel like he's gonna have this fire underneath his ass right now to like just go after it. And I feel like the SPD Austin meet really like ignited that flame even further. So I think the best is yet to come with Jesus right now, and we're gonna see some crazy shit in the future. And I wouldn't put it past him that in like next year November Sheffield we're looking like an 1180 or something near 12. It's gonna be fucking nuts. But yeah, I think he
Hmm.
deserved it. I think he deserved the second wild card, not the first, but the second for sure.
Hmm.
Here's a point. You make some good points, but there's something to just to add context. So obviously the wild cards were announced at SBD Austin. They are already
Yeah.
decided beforehand. And to give both sides of the story, as far as SBD is probably looking at it, Jesus at Worlds, again, it had been several years. The first SBD Sheffield, he got an immediate invite no matter how he performed at the following Worlds. He was already at the banquet invited to the next Sheffield. So just for your how good he did launching the Sheffield series, if SBD would give him a tip of the hat, remember they did say, we don't even care what you do at next Worlds, you're already back. So they did do that for him, just not infinitely here on out forever. And for to SBD's, I can see where they're coming from, where the performances from there before SBD Austin, he was not getting close to returning to that form. And the whole format is revolved around breaking world records or at least coming close. And it wasn't looking very promising. It looked like some great training, but he was struggling. And the hype around Jesus wasn't there until SBD Austin. And I pose to you, if he had done the performance at SBD Austin at Worlds, Gustav ain't coming. Jesus is. If the Austin performance was at Worlds, SBD be like, oh, say less. My man is
I mean,
back.
I wouldn't be coming. I only came because Jesus misses last deadlift. Do you know
Oh,
what I
there
mean?
you go. There you go. There you go. But but yeah, like it would be if it was even wild card talk or whatever. But because he had this resurgence, look at his resurgence was so good. that I think was Eric Helms that actually gave him comeback of the year. Not that he ever left or took an L, but he returned to form. And it was somewhat surprising. So in SBDs, I get what you guys are saying. Him not being there is tough because everything you said, Jirens, about not having 1,000 pound squat, not having an over 900 pound deadlift, not having that super heavyweight presence matters. And I agree with you
Mhm.
there. But on the flip side, I know SBD was like, we can't risk another underwhelming performance when we could beef up the 93s because they know where they're bringing Russ. And that storyline with Emil and Gustav welcoming Russ and talking and Russ jumping in the comments, I'll see you boys soon. And now it's about to happen. And the hype, I don't know if you guys seen the hype video with the 93s with Emil, Gustav, and Russ. A three-way battle when it's a kilo separating them, you almost never get that in powerlifting where literally all their top ends are 1 kilo apart and it's a three-way and they're all world champions, they're all world record holders. Very rare you get a perfect storm like that, probably since what you said earlier, Jurens, Leah, Carlina, Agata, like that's probably the last time it was, that three world champions clashing all at once, blah blah blah. So it's kind of a 2020 hindsight, but you guys are right. I just think, maybe SBD's like, shit, if you would have done that a little earlier, it's a little late, we didn't know what we were playing with. However, I agree with you, Joe. More than likely, we're going to say Jesus out of Sheffield in 2026, just not the first one. I'd be shocked if he doesn't drop the hammer in Dubai and end up at Sheffield in the stadium. And the return in the stadium, beautiful. Now, talking about the 63s, we got Alba, we got Meg Scanlon on a revenge arc redemption tour, and we got Chiara Bernardi in the battle of the 63s. And then the women's, we got the battle of the 47s between Turbo Tiff and Heather Connor. And Heather just dropped the video with SBD. She's pulling something crazy. Off the top, this doesn't have to go into a full-on Sheffield preview show, for God's sake, but what are you guys thinking about the 63s and 47s? The battle of the 63s first. How about that? What do you think, Jirens? We'll start with you this time.
Um, I know I said it earlier. I said, of course, age don't matter to me because of what Megan is doing. What are you gonna say? You know what I mean? This woman competed like it did back-to-back meet within like what less than 2 months. And look what she did. It's still the young people, of course, like Janae, we're talking about Janae, she's tremendous, she's amazing. Still no one came close to Megan. So in that battle at Sheffield, of course, Alba, the last time Alba did compete was at the World Games. And of course, as people always talk about youth, Megan still has got a lot in her. A lot in her. And I was with Kiara, silent worker. Of course, it's not my place to say and all of that. Her training has picked up really well. So it's something, I mean, the Italians always come in very strong. You can't write them off. But if you ask me in terms of like the 63 head to head, I can't go past Megan on this one. If Megan, the thing is like, if Megan can keep her booty on the bench, it's fucked, it's over. Do you know what I mean? And I know she will do that. You know what I mean? Again, I don't believe in age, this, and that. I just look at what the facts in front of me. You know what I mean? And Megan is almost like she has got a mission. She need to prove something, especially losing that world title the way she lost it. It was almost like, I know as a lifter, she probably felt embarrassed the way she lost it. Do you know what I mean? Going there as a favorite and losing in that way. So I can't go past Megan on this one. I'm sorry, I can't. And then of course Kiara and of course Alba's proven at the top end. Do you know what I mean? Our top end is higher. You know what I mean? She will be hard to beat there. But again, as I said, if Megan go 3 for 3 for squat, 3 for 3 for bench, mate, come on. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's how I put it down the of 63. So yeah.
Well, here, Alba came on the podcast. Everybody's talking about Megan. Megan, since losing at Worlds, destroyed at Avances, destroyed at SBD Austin, is doing phenomenal and is on this big revenge arc. And there's a romanticized storyline behind her due to that. But Alba was like, how about my revenge? Because my last Sheffield was one of my most embarrassing performances and worst defeats. She hated her experience. She came on the podcast. I just dropped it. And she said, I hated that experience. I have a redemption arc myself. And I'm being told the hype around Megan, despite the fact that Alba won, Alba herself feels a little bit like she's classical European calm and humble, but to an extent, the pride is like, really? I'm the world champ in my prime and beat her head to head, took that world title. I feel like Alba's got something to prove here. And when I'm talking to her, she is mentally as strong and prepped and ready, and she sounds confident. Also, not showing all of her top end, she said. You guys
Mm.
do not know what I'm putting in the gym. I do not post my top end lifts. I don't know. What do you think, Joey?
I like Meg simply because she's my fellow American. So
Here we go.
no bias, no
Bias.
bias at all.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but for real, like, yes, Alba, I would feel very disrespected if I'm the world champ when you're picking someone else that I just beat over me, especially if
Yeah.
I'm this young, making this amount of progress, just my first year out of the juniors. Like, I'd be fuming if that was me, and I bet Alba is,
Yeah.
right? So she's coming with a lot of vengeance, but Meg wants revenge as well. So it's like you're like an immovable object and this in a train that's not gonna stop moving either. It's just like they're gonna collide and meet in the middle. And I think whoever has the perfect day simply wins this battle. It's that simple. And good thing the IPF rules aren't in effect just yet because they both have that sink and heave bench method, right? So if that would have been fucking cooked if that came into effect. But thankfully that we're having some reinterpretations of the rules. Hopefully something happens to that. But just in regards to the battle, I would give the edge to Meg because we just have more. We've seen more from her at Avantis, at SBD, and like Jirens said, we're realists. We look at data, we look at trends. We don't care about your age, the momentum you have. We just look at the what you put on the fucking platform and the numbers you're hitting. And Meg has shown some crazy numbers. Yes, a light 69, so be it. But she can make the cut back down. She's only like 3 kilos over. That's not much. And the way she's like made a comeback in her later years after, giving birth to twins, which is absurd. Like that's nuts. Can't believe it. Like that's inspirational for sure. And I feel like she has a lot to prove and even more to prove compared to Alba, because Alba's still starting. She has so many years ahead. Meg only got like two more, like she said, she only got like two more good shots. She might go 69 next year, and after that, we don't know what happens. But if we're just bet on like who's gonna be in the sport longer, obviously it's gonna be Alba. So I think Meg needs this. She wants it a little bit more because she knows she's in the twilight, the back half of her career. So she wants to go out swinging with a crazy a statement on that platform. And she's my fellow American, so I got to choose her. And yeah, it's a 50, it's like a 50-50 shot right here. I'm not like super zealous on Megan over Alba out here. Like they're neck and neck, but I would have to give the slight edge to Meg because of what we're seeing and the motivation behind it, and her not knowing how many years she actually got left in the sport.
I'm telling you, this is the type of podcast that fires Alba up, and Joey Flex is going to be getting DMs like, you hear that fucking kid in this podcast. You see what I'm talking about. Interesting enough, and we'll talk about the 47s in a second. Interesting enough, Alba said in Sweden that bench rule was always enforced that way. So she's used to, she said, I'll lose kilos, but it's not a major adjustment like you might think for me. Because I asked her on the podcast about the bench rule. What do you think? The bench rule being touched up, not for Sheffield, but later on in 2026. She said, I'm actually fine with it. Within Sweden, that's how they actually were already applying it. And internationally, it loosened up for me. So she said, I think I'll hit the ground running for this, and this will actually be to my benefit because both Kiara, Meg, and Alba, all the top 63s, it's going to impact. There's not one of them that's going to skate by, but she might be the best app to adjust to it. Anyways, put a pin in that.
How many national that has she done in Sweden since she became this top tier athlete?
As a junior, she was like a junior star too. I
All
remember
right.
2021.
Okay.
Yeah, in 2021 Worlds, she was there, like medaling and podiuming. So
Okay.
it's been a hot minute now. Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyways, 47s, gentlemen. I know obviously Turbo Tiff has been doing 450, 450, 450. What has she got? 2, 3 back to back to back 450s.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But Heather's been smashing some massive numbers. And Heather, while might have to play a little defense, just go 6 for 6 and pull to apply pressure. Heather dropped the SBD video, or SBD dropped the video with Heather rather. And Heather's like, you better hit all your lifts. And it's true. Her gym total was around 446 or something she had posted and had a massive deadlift in there. Gym total over the course of a week. Got you. I'll spot you. I got you. I don't think anyone's going to argue Tiff's top end isn't heavier than Heather's. But Heather Heather's top end is not as so far off that this isn't dangerous, and she's going to pull last. What are we looking at here? Jirens, what do you think?
I mean, I know Joey said if you're world champion, people are looking over you and picking the other person is almost like it does piss people off. You know what I mean? Even me, like when I saw the IPF posted last year, I was just like, really? Is this what the respect I get? They don't know that I'm the one to be beaten. You know what I mean? Okay, anyway, that's just me because just to say I'm still bitter about it. But I got a nice phone call from the IPF media team explaining why that happened. So I understood. So yeah, don't worry. I'm not bitter about it anymore. But anyway, what I'm saying is when we look at the numbers, Tiff is the one to lose this battle. And Ella herself said it. A world, if the French picked the right numbers, she would not have won. Do you know what I mean? So the exact same. Basically, for me, what I'm seeing them is almost like it's a repeat of the World Championship, right? You pick the round number for Tiff, Tiff wins. Either she will sit there thinking as a mature lifter, like, yeah, of course, she picked the round number, she's stronger, she's done, it doesn't won. But if the French went on the French mode, then it's game over. You know what I mean? Then the American will do what they need because I'm sure Heather will be coached by Kedrick. You know what I mean? And we all know Kedrick with that autism of his. Do you know what I mean? There's no way Kedrick will load something that, exactly. You know what I mean? We know the Kedrick's not going to load something that Edda will Hail Mary. There's no way Kedrick will do that. Do you know what I mean? So basically, the battles is literally on Panas and Tiff. They come in here to win. They don't choose the run numbers to do that. Oh yeah, Tiff, take your first squat as a world record. And then we're all going to be in the background thinking, damn, this is going to be a long day. Do you know what I mean? So it's Tiff to lose. So yeah, but if the French miss, of course, they will capitalize. That's how I see it.
It'll be, what are you thinking?
I can't elaborate too much on that. It's Tiff, her top end is just so much higher right now. You said Heather did 446 in the gym. That's dispersed throughout days. Was it at weight? How much does she cut? No travel. That's the perfect circumstances. 446. You got Tiff doing 450 every week. It feels like, and she's doing it on the platform too. So like,
Yeah.
yes, at World Games she was what, like 0.1 kilo over or something like that. That's she made weight. All right, she made weight. But her top end is just so above. But the only handicap or thing that can kind of pull her back down to earth would be the French coaching team selection in like the temp selections. They're not the most precise with their numbers. They don't have the best strategy all the time, grinding out the seconds at RP10 and still going for a third. So if these coaching faults leak back in, I think Heather has a definite chance. But based off pure talent and top end, it has to be Tiff. But obviously, you have to trust your coach. The coach is they're the one making the call. They're putting the attempt select sheet in, not the athlete. So anything like that can happen. A world's repeat can happen. Heather was not stronger at worlds. Clear and cut. She wasn't. But she was just this close within her that she was able to load a Hail Mary on that third deadlift. That was an RP10 pull. Like she didn't have a kilo more on that deadlift, and she locked it out. So the same thing, like, okay, is it possible for Heather to win? Yes. Is it probable? I would say no. All right. But anything can happen with the coaching mistakes. It's very frequent on the French side, to be honest. I'm not talking shit. It's just what we're seeing. We're looking at trends. They have one of the worst hit rates of all time. So I feel like Heather has a for sure chance.
I'm glad you heard what Joey B said about French fans. So yeah.
No, it's true. No, it's true. Just look at stats. Look at stats. I love the French. They have amazing lifters, world class level lifters. Just not world class level attempt selection. All right, it's
okay,
not even close. So if they can fix that up, take a page out of Matt Gary's book or something. If Matt Gary can coach the French, it's over. It's over.
Can you imagine? I'd like to announce Matt Gary is now the head coach of Team France. It's like, oh,
that's what I'm saying.
America would be like, oh shit, son.
We have to do a bid off out here, man. PA has to do a bid. GB, France, all of us have to
all of us petition, Gary. Bro. Petition. I'll sell my house.
We wanted Matt Gary. I don't know what happened. And I know Matt Gary's kind of harsh. He's very realistic. He even says some things about me that I don't agree with. But I know he has ball knowledge. He knows how to call attempts out there. He knows the sport.
Yes, I
I would trust
like
him with
that
my
he's got
life.
ball knowledge. Yeah, that's right. The thing is, too, what I love about Matt Gary, he will be straight up no bull. He is that coach, like straight up a college coach that's no bullshit, looking you in the eye and be like, son, you got 5 more in you, and that's what I'm loading. And it'll be like he doesn't give shit about your feelings or whatever. He's gonna cut you straight.
Yeah.
But
Do you know
anyways, yeah,
how?
not to
Do you know
divert.
how much? Do you know how much I wanted 365 at the World Games?
Really?
Do you know how? Because I knew I can't pull 363 for £800 because it's not a world record. So I have to pull 365. He loaded 365. I was dancing at the back because I knew I won on my second pull. Or at 347. I was like, yeah, Shell will have to pull like 350 to beat me. And then Anna will have to pull like 425 kilos. Don't worry. Don't worry about that. And then I said, like, when I saw 365, I'm like, oh, the number is there. The number we've been working for 365 at the World Games, and then add another 10 kilo for Sheffield 375. I turned up, I saw 360. And I looked at him, he looks at me, he doesn't even talk, right? He just looked at me and he went like, I was like, it's 360. It was like, and then that's when he spoke. He was like, yeah, that's what you're pulling. I was just like, okay.
He's like, thank me later when you get your total PR, son. That's what it's all about. That's what we're doing here. But you also, to his credit, you won like athlete of the day and freaking had a phenomenal World Games and whatever. But anyways, you mentioned Shell. One last question, fellas. In terms of Shell, what are we looking at here? What do you guys expect from Shell at Sheffield? This is the returning Sheffield champion, by the way, a world champion, but he's going to be as a 74. I haven't seen some crazy lifts from him, but he also DM'd me saying people shouldn't totally look past me neither. Like he's not doing. We're not talking 900 like Perk in the 74s, but he's not just showing up for fun here. But very understated. I don't know what to take away from Shell.
It's hard. I don't want to I can't look past him like that, but at the same time, you got Perk. If he goes nine, oh okay, actually no, it's based off the 843, right? So I think it would be amazing if he's in the top half of the rankings afterwards. That'd be great. If he goes over 800, I think that'd be a good stepping stool for Worlds because I know he's still bulking up into the class. So I mean, actually, I don't know the way he eats, he could be 80 kilo
Dog,
by
I was gonna
tomorrow,
say,
right?
dog, he's probably 80 kilo. Like compared to not Perk, but let's say the rest of the 74s. Can he
Okay.
make a message to the other 74s, like the Elliot Sykeses and the Ilya and whatnot, and the French I forget his name now, but phenomenal. He just did 800 himself.
Is it what Baltazar?
Baltazar,
Yeah.
thank you, Baltazar. But there's a bunch of young junior 74s coming up, and the Penas and et cetera in the world. Can he make a statement saying, all right, look at Perk's got me, Perk's got you too. But guess what? There's a level below Perk, and that's me. And you can't look past me. Can he reassert himself? You guys are floating around 815. You guys might be talking 820, 830. So am I. Is that out of range for him to send a message to the 74s?
You got Elliot, man. Elliot's nowhere near 820. He's way above that now. You
I
see what
think
he's
so.
repping?
Well,
Fuck.
yeah, I'm an Elliott
Okay.
fan and I'm an Elliott believer. The guy's a monster. But I want to hear what you guys want to say.
I go, Jirens. I
Uh,
want to hear what Jirens got to say.
so okay, since for me, when it comes to Shell, he lied to me first of all at the World Game, telling me he's gonna pull conventional, he doesn't have a pull. And then on the platform, I saw him opening his leg. So I was like, you bitch. So I mean, no wonder why. So yeah, so he lied to me about that. So I don't trust Shell. Anything that comes out of Shell mouth, I don't believe it. Even if he said to me, I'm gonna total 820, I'll be like, look, you're probably gonna end up with 720. I don't believe Shell. But anyway, but just looking at what Shell is as a person and as a lifter, I think Shell is not done in the 74s. Is not, you know. And I see Shell this coming Sheffield around 820. You know what I mean? It basically probably getting closer to his best ever total at 74. And I'm seeing that. The only reason I'm saying that is Shell has got 2 children. He has got a wife. He has got a job. These things take so much out of you. No one, I mean, people will not understand this, you know. And the likes of, like, of course, Ashton, Jesus, and Taylor, and all of that, still on the platform make, you have no idea what the sacrifice has been made on the background. But anyway, talking about Shell here, I see Shell getting close to his best 74 kilo total. But in terms of like, when you look at these youngsters, I think like it looks like even the Russian kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Free Russia, free
Balthazar.
Russia, free Russia, free Russia, free Russia.
Take
You know what
it
I
easy.
mean? So, so in terms of those kids and Balthazar, I think because they're so young, their top end, if they go head to head with Shell, I think some of them are best Shell, but they know might be far off. That's what I can put it down to. As I said, it's not far off all these kids because we're talking about 4 or 5 74. You don't have to include Shed in that conversation. That's how I'm seeing it as, you know what I mean? But in terms of, again, you mentioned about Elliot Sark in terms of what he's doing. As a kid, is strong, is focused, and all of that stuff's coming. All these numbers I'm seeing in training, fantastic, tremendous, but at what body weight? Do you know what I mean? So, yes, he has about maybe he's around maybe 830, you know what I mean, 840 mark. You know what I mean? But that, if I'm saying Chair to go to his best 84 at 825, that's 15 kilo. That's one deadlift. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I'm seeing it as. So yeah, but the kid has, of course, he has got more of a higher top end than Chair.
Joe B, what do you think?
Definitely agree. Like Shell, if he goes 815, 820, then that would put him in a true context or in context that he'd be like the second best 74, at
Podium.
least for now. At least for now,
Right.
because
Yeah.
Elliot, this it's just sad that he can't make it to Worlds because of Perk, right? He can be he can be by far the second best 74, but since he can't do that head to head with Shell, it's so hard to compare. You can be like, oh, if Elliot traveled, all the what ifs start playing around.
Mm.
It's just not fair, you know what I mean? But just based off top end, Elliot has to be the second best 74. And I think at Nationals, I think he's gunning for like 850. I think he wants to do what Perk did at USAPL and just almost like follow in his footsteps, but being 4 years younger. You know what I mean? Like
Is he
he
20
wants
yet?
to
Is he
put.
still a teenager?
Is he? No, because Perk is what? Is Perk 26, 27? How old
Yeah, I
is
think
he?
so. Yeah,
He's
I
an
think
old.
so.
But so
Yeah.
yeah, so in
Um,
2023 he would have been 25. So Elliot would be 5 years younger at that rate. You know what I mean? If he did
But
the
is Elliot
850.
still a teenager right now?
No, I think he's
Is he?
turning 20. I think he just turned 20. I
Okay.
could be mistaken though. I'm
that's
not sure.
crazy. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
1 year difference, like 1920 doesn't matter. I don't think so. But I think he's
Easy.
definitely he's the up. No, I didn't say 17, 18. I said 18, 19,
Easy.
or
Easy.
19, 20.
All
I
right.
don't know, but he's definitely the up and comer right now, and I feel like yes, Michelle, the old guard is still here, but you can't compare him at these stages of the career. One's at the twilight, one's at the absolute start.
Mm.
Hopefully they meet and they can actually battle it out. But when you have like that person looming over the class like Perk, it just like it just makes the spectacle of like powerlifting so much more like flat. At least for me as a viewer that wants to see greatness. Like when I see a battle, I love the battle. But knowing that they're 50 kilos behind the next best dude, it's like, damn, like it hurts to watch. It hurts to watch. So Shell's a beast. He's one of the goats.
Mm,
Can't disregard him. But like no,
mm.
I got Elliot at a class like I got him in a whole different class above Shell. It's not like they're mingling together. No, it's Perk all the way up here, Elliot right slap dab in the middle, and then we got the French kid and Ilya and Shell at the tier below, all above 800. All in the
It's
tiers
just
can be
crazy.
within. Yeah, the tiers are going to be like 30 kilos, 40 kilos separating them, but 30, 40 kilos at 74 is not just one lift. That's like almost bombing out on squat type of thing. You miss two squats, two deadlifts. That's how big of a gap it is. You have to really shit the bed or get injured or Jirens keeps saying tear hamstring. I don't know.
No,
He's
I
addicted
didn't
to
say that. I
hamstrings this
didn't
podcast.
say
God
that.
bless.
You're addicted to You said hamstring like at least 10 times within this podcast.
Bless.
Now, but
Somebody's gonna
it
tear a
would
hammy.
it would
Someone's
have
gonna
to take
tear
a
a
hammy
hammy.
tear.
So
No, but for real.
let me ask this question, right? Ryan, this probably you can answer this as well. When we always say this person is the second best 83 or second best 74, second best 75, whatever, right? How do we quantify that? Do we quantify that by the circumstances they hit the total, or do we quantify just by purely looking at the numbers?
Mm. That's a good
because
question. I know what you
combination.
mean.
yeah, because the reason I'm saying this, I'll go back to the 83 battles conversation. I'm listening to all because a lot of people, when people are saying Jaden Law, for instance, right? People are saying, I think you released this podcast, Brian, yourself. You said I think, what is he? What did he call it? Is he the danger to Joey B throne or something like that, right? On those
Biggest
lines.
threat. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the threat to Joey B throne, and people saying, okay, he's of course third best 83 of all time. And then my question is, do you quantify that because of what he did in the US against himself? Or do you quantify that because someone actually, the circumstances some people competed? Because for me, right now, I still feel the danger to Joey B throne is still Taylor Howard in terms of the US side. I'm not talking about internationally. I'm talking about the US side. I'm thinking it's Taylor because Taylor hit 876 on a battle against Joey B. He was able to do that. It was not something that you go to the me. All right, let's pick the numbers that you need. This and this and this and that. Even of course his last pull. I'm not a judge. I gave it to him because he's a lift. I know how much work he put on it, right? But when the battle is fierce, would you get that pull overturned? Do you know what I mean? That's my thought about it when I listening to all these conversations. And then again, I go as I was okay, why other people's total is almost minimized across the globe? Because of what someone has done in America. So if we sit there call earlier the second best at 74 and Shell is not, but Shell is the one battling day in, day out, year in, year out against Perks at world. Do you know what I mean? So how do we quantify that? I just want to know. It's just a question I'm asking you guys.
I mean, it's a good question. Are you battle tested or is it just full on? Well, for
Yeah,
instance, the big example would be like Will Ball, local meet, local judging, no
yeah,
competition, go nine
yeah.
for nine. And then the thing with Elliot, at the very least, he can go to junior world, so he won't have the competition battle tested anything near the open, but he will have IPF international judging, which will make international people feel better. Like, is it above board? Now, well, okay, it's
Mm,
IPF Worlds, so
mm,
it's going to be
mm,
at least the judging will be fair. Because to your point, sometimes you travel and what flies out of North Americans might not fly out of Worlds. Some people, yeah, I mean, these are discussions at sports conversations that get had.
mm, mm, mm,
Um,
mm.
but I know what you mean. That's a tough one because battle tested matters. I mean, both you guys are as battle, like you guys have been in some battles. So you guys have battled each other. You guys have battled other people at different levels. It does matter to have a battle. Yeah, right. That's a tough one, huh? For
Joby, what do you
it,
think?
if
It
Elliot has a
all,
big enough spread, it won't matter. If Elliot's got like,
yeah.
look at, I guarantee, if the spread is like 30 kilos, my friend, how close, how much of a battle that this isn't a battle. If even if you showed up, you know what I'm saying? Elliot's like, with all due respect, all right. Sorry,
Yeah,
Joe,
you
you
gotta
were
take
about to say
it.
something.
No, no, all good. You gotta take it all into context, though. Nothing's in a vacuum. I'm looking at your recent training. I'm looking at your training history, the progress you are making. Yes, we're very numbers driven, and like you gotta do what you gotta do to prove it, right? But at the same time, those other things do matter in a sense. They're not the end all be all. But if someone is like, if someone's neck and neck, they're both let's say variables the same battle tested, same age, same everything, but one lifter is making more progress than the other at a faster rate. If I were to predict in 1 year who's going to win, I'd pick the person that had made the more progress up until that point, right? Simple as that. So I'm not saying progress or rate of progression is the end all be all, but when all factors are pretty consistent, I would have to take the person that's younger, making more progress, recovers faster, and so on. But that's just like the little edge over the top. But I don't think there is a fine balance between Shell and Elliot right now. I think it's Elliot and Shell. No matter how much platform experience you got, unless Elliot has an anxiety attack and tears a hamstring, I don't think they're in the same league. It's that simple. But your question precisely was like, how do you rank who's the second best or who's the best? I personally, I'm taking battle testing as the number one criteria. Battle tested is number one because you can't learn that. You can that's a skill you can take with you from when you start lifting all the way until the development of powerlifting, right? We're adding 100 kilos to the 83s. If you were battling out 10 years ago in the mid 800s, that skill can be carried to your 900 kilo total top end strength. It's not like that skill goes away because now you're stronger. No, that skill just keeps building and refining. So being battle tested is like its own criteria that has to be marked. And Elliot doesn't have that. But there is a gap that sooner or later it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. So I think battle testing and then that top end strength are right there as like criteria that have to be met. And then the gap between you and the next dude. And if you're within 30 or 40 kilos, I don't think there's any criteria that has to be met. At that point, you're clear cut the better person. But someone like Jaden Lowe, that's neck and neck with Atwood, he's not clear cut the better person. I'm
Mm.
using data. I'm using his age, his rate of progress, and even then, I'm adding that with it. I still think him and Atwood are neck and neck. I give the slight edge to Jaden, the very slight. It's like Meg versus Alba. A slight boost to Meg, but I'm not betting the house on either one. I'm not a betting man. I'm definitely not going to bet on who's the better lifter between the two. But I would favor Jaden because I've been in his shoes. I came being a young lifter, rising up in the 83s, putting some phenomenal total up. Being a deadlift specialist, even we share a lot of similarities. He's just that much younger than me and making that much more progress at a faster rate. And he only had 2 years of or 3 years of lifting experience. So he's fairly new in the game. And Taylor he's shown he has enough fire left in him, but it's a dwindling flame, I feel like, because at APF, not the best performance, to be honest. It feels like he has like almost like the Keiko problem where he has like one big meet a year. His body can only handle one super peak every year. He can still peak and pass those all-time PRs again, but how often can he do it? That's the real question. And I feel like Taylor, I think the way he's looking now, he just did some crazy squat triple like 305. I think he's on pace for something big at nationals. But Jaden is not slowing down. He's not posting anything, but just based off recent performance history, I think he's in a really good spot to overtake Atwood. And he has the last say on deadlift. It's not even close on the poll. Jaden could I heard Jaden hold up. Jaden pulled, I think, 370 for three. Is this true? Was this the week before the meet? Was
I
that
think it was
true?
365, I said, isn't it?
That's what it was. He's like he
Yeah,
misloaded a red or something, right?
Mm.
Wait, wait,
It's
wait. I think he did do. Yeah,
he
he said
told me
something on
this,
the
right? I
podcast.
believe it. Yeah.
He misloaded like in a major way, and he was like, "Dude, that's
But if you
yeah."
pull 370 for three, shouldn't he be pulling like 390, no?
No, that's
385,
what I'm
390.
saying. Yeah, my top end is around 380, 385, and I doubled 365. So if he's taking that for 3 reps, he should be above 390. You know what I mean? But maybe he fried himself a week out with that pull. You never
Right.
know.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get too off track with this, but like that's just
Yeah.
playing the guessing game at this point.
Yeah.
No, no,
Mm.
but yeah, to answer your question though, it's an accumulation of like battle testing, your training history, the momentum you're building, and all that. But I definitely take battle testing as like the main thing that it's a
Mm.
characteristic that you cannot learn unless you're fucking in those battles. And if you can either rise to the occasion or shit the fucking bed. But the more time you're in those battles, I think the better you'll become to handle them. Unless you
Mm.
start falling into that self-fulfilling prophecy where like, oh, my grip fails every third deadlift and it just keeps happening and
Mm.
happening until you break loose.
Mm.
We've seen that as well in the sport where it's like that mental toll in the back of your head. Like, is it going to happen again? Is it going to happen again? Am I going to fail on
Mm.
grip again? So that could also play into account. So the only way to understand if you're that type of person to let those adversities haunt you or allow you to overcome and break through, you have to be in those situations. And I feel like Elliot hasn't been in those situations. So someone like
Mm.
him would have to actually grind through it.
Mm.
And I feel like he'll never be in those situations until he's actually above or at Perk's level. And how long will that take? Right now, it's like they're running two different races out here. So it's so much harder this way for him to learn that discipline. Unless you're doing like a GL points meet or something, you're going head to head like that. But even then, that's not the same thing at all. It's like, but you could get that experience somewhat. Like I would credit, like I did the 2024 Arnold back when I was 75, and I do credit some of my platform battle experience because of that competition. Yes, we're not going for kilo, but I'm still pulling something to get me ahead of you and win this prize money. Because I was a teenager, I was 19 years old. I was trying to win $20,000. For me, that was like,
Mm.
I'm rich. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that for me, that I felt the pressure on my mind, on my heart, and my soul. It was just like it was eating at me. But I rose to the occasion. I locked in. I pulled through, and that I learned something. I gained something. Yes, it wasn't head to head. It was a GL points meet, but still, I got something from it. I feel like Elliot needs those opportunities, or these younger lifters need those opportunities if they're
Mm.
running different races in comparison to
Mm.
the top dog, like Perk. You,
Mm.
you can't run that race with him right now.
Or just to put them in a me, when jail point against the girls, like they do out of Anchors and Silent Worker. You know what I mean? I have to go against Tiff. you're lost already before you start lifting.
Yeah. In the warm-up room, someone put their hand on your shoulder and it's like, you could just cool down already.
Yeah, cool down, man. I was like, what? Am I going up against teeth? Oh, come on, you're kidding.
But thank God, bro. Agata was coming to advance this. She
I
was
know.
invited to it. She was going. That's if she went, me and Perk would have just bowed out like that.
Yeah,
That is
it's like,
insane. But yeah.
Did
Your
you-
point meets don't really matter.
did you win 20K at 19?
No, I think I was 20. I think I was actually 20. No, yeah,
Mm.
I did
And,
win.
like,
That was the biggest
would you
payout for
buy-
Arnold. Yeah.
Would you buy like video games and fucking
I
girly
no,
posters?
no, man, I'm not like that. I invested every dime of it, man. Every dime.
Good man.
Really?
Good man.
Yeah.
Man.
No
Good man.
shit. Jirens could have helped you out right there with some advice.
Darling, good man.
You
good
come into
man, good
20K,
man.
call Jirens.
Good man.
You'll turn that
Grew,
20K to
hey.
60K real quick, Playboy.
Good man.
Real quick.
Good man. I'll
You'll
tell you.
get
look,
called by the IRS once or twice, but he'll walk you through it. You'll be fine.
Good
You'll be
man.
fine. But all right, fellas. Listen, well, first off, before we leave, let me just say that's where these money meets got to happen so we can see an Elliot Sykes versus a Shell. Somebody can fly him in. Doesn't have to be world. That's where these SBD and Avances meets can make these matchups we never see happen. And the sport and fans would be like, hell yeah, I'd like to see Elliot battle some people. He'll never get out of there with Perk around. I shouldn't say never, but it'll take a minute. Whereas immediately you could do it. So yeah. But anyways, fellas, thank you for giving me this time, hopping on the podcast. Good luck in training, and I'm gonna see you fellas in 2 short weeks. We'll be at SBD, fucking Sheffield. I can't believe it's already rolled around time, man. Holy flippin' smokes! But thank you very much, fellas. Much appreciated. And for everybody listening, please do subscribe, give us high ratings, and until next time, 6-pack Lapadat, 6-0, and we are out.